Okay, student, we continue with chapter Engineering EIP PE and few question review for number 11. We have one more chapter and that's all for the lecture. So this one is not include in quiz number 3 and this one for final. So if you study for quiz number 3 right now, you don't worry about this one. Temporary, just save it on later. So I can start with the chapter and it's for final, not for quiz number 3. Okay. Same thing with the other lecture. We have few review question and you answer the question. Email for me if you want to get 10 points plus 5 points for attendance. So totally 15 points for each chapter review. You just read on of the chapter and after that you answer the question. Email back to me on the question. Okay, so we can start with chapter Engineer EIP and PE. First of all, I need you to know that engineers is some of the major is kind of hard, and especially electrical engineer is with me it's hard. And because my major is architecture, so that's why on of the major I put this right here, a more or less work with me. So in this chapter I will present with you about that. Engineer, we have many different fields. For engineer major, it can be electrical engineer, it can be mechanical, environmental, structural, civil, geology, hydrology, and aerospace engineer. So we have many different fields and depend on the student if you're interested with which one, or if you have some of the skill or some knowledge, some interesting for which one, you can follow that major. One student can take dual major. That means they can take the same time with the main major and the other one they call that the minor major. And if you want to take like this, you need to spend more time. After you finish the major, you can add more class so that you can finish the second one. And usually for engineering major, if you want to get bachelor degree, it takes maybe 3 to 5 years, it depends. But with the regular average, it's 4 years for honor of engineer major. After you got bachelor degree, you can apply for the exam. They call that EIP. And EIP stands for Engineer in Practice. So if some people graduate from bachelor degree and engineer major, they can apply for EIP. Students can spend 1 or 3 more years later if they want to finish the master degree or continue with 3 more years for doctorate degree. About the exam, we usually in engineer we have 2 exams. But the first one, they call that EIP or FE. FE stands for Fundamentals Engineer Exam. Student have bachelor degree, you can apply for this exam. And after you finish this one, you work 1 to 3 more years and you can continue with another exam. They call that PE. P stand for Professional Engineer. So PE is the exam after you have FE and you have 3 more years working on. So they call that PE. If you look at this, PE, Professional Engineer. There are many subjects for you study, you review for EIP, also for PE. That can be from mathematics, can be statistics, dynamics, mechanics, material physics, chemistry, structure, computer, and electrical circuits, more. So that's why in the test for PE or FIP, they cover all of the different major like this. And the website www.ncees.org is one of the website. It's concerned everything with the exam from EIP, also from PE. start from registration and the handbook and the policy and everything. So that's why you can contact with them by the website. Candidate, if you want to get the test, you also use for other resource from other publisher for review the test. But in this website, they have few book you can buy or you can order to review before you get the test. The second one, you can go to any bookstore or Noble book. You can look at some of the review book look like this with a very good price. I take few of the book like this in Noble. And if you need something special you want to order, you also ask them to order. And this is the other book for all of different majors, so it depends on you. You can order for the tech. So NCEE it stands for National Council of Examiner for Engineer and Surveying. So in this website you can get any information about the test. If you have the license, that means you pass the test in one state. Not mean that you will not permit to practice engineer in other state. It depends. For example, in California, some people got the license in California, they can go to another state to work, but another people, they have the license in different state, they come to California, sometimes they need to retake the test from California. So it depends. So that's why you need contact with the state. You need to work for make sure that you need or not take the extra license. EIP and PE examination, they have 7 for total different major, different the subject. So you can take any one from 1 to 7, and after that when you pass one of them you take another one. But if you fail some test, you need to wait for a few months before you go back again. It's usually 6 months before you go back. Exactly, that's that object. On the exam, you need to register before maybe a few months. It depends. And after that, on the day to get the test, they take maybe 1 or 2 weeks to let you know that you pass or fail. And how much you pass, how much you fail, they will tell you which one you weak point, which one you so strong point, and after that just pass and fail, not score. On of the subject they cover include for civil engineer, electrical engineer, mechanical engineering, environmental engineering, structural engineering, chemical engineering, and other discipline. That means anything. They can cover a few of this major, a few of the civil, few electrical, few of geometry, few of environmental. That means other display they have different subject together. This is some example for the book you can follow for the practice review before you get exam. Every project, like the big one for a bridge or a freeway, or some of the big project, is usually regard with civil engineer. Freeway or highway or the bridge, so that belong to the civil engineer. This is some picture to show you the structure with multi-use for building, and you see that they on the construction. So the people for engineer work together with the architect in the field. This is some picture to show you the people regard with contractor. It's contraction, so that's why these people they working for. This one is the T-bar, the rebar. This is the rebar on the floor. The foundation they do before they put the material on the top. So that's why this is the rebar, and they double rebar like this with horizontal and vertical like this on the floor before they fill out the cement mixings on the top one on the slab. So one of the picture to show you like this one, the picture to show you the people working on electrical, and the color you see right here, red yellow, green, and this is the color right here. If you make sure with the round line for electric, or the line to go with the hot service. This one, some picture for the people working on mechanical. They usually work on of the HVAC system in the building, or they work ventilation, they work with thermometer, and on off around the ventilation from the building. This is one picture to show you one subject regard with the test. This can be the this is, you look at the city, the park, or the wetland, and this is regard with the government, and they call that's the urban design, or some of the subject in the landscape. Okay, this is one of example they give you in the test for EIP. That means engineer in practice. Some question they put so easy, you just answer very quick. For example, like this, they ask you to find the length from the resultant vector, and you know that the letter I, J, K stand for 3 different directions. For example, you say X, Y, and Z, something like that. In the vector, they usually have 3 different directions, I, J, and K. That means 3 different ones. And each vector, they should have different measuring look like this. So for example, the vector number 1, they have 3y, 4j, and 5k. And vector number 2, they have 7i, 2j, 3k. And the last one, they have minus 69, minus 14j, and plus 2k. They show direction for all of the vector like this, and they ask you to do the resultant. So that's why you need to add everything together. And when you have add everything, you have minus 6i, minus aj, and positive k. So when you have like this, you need to calculate for the length of resultant vector. The length is equal to the square root from on of each value to powder. That means you do powder to do for multiple exactly. That's one for you got power 2. So this one you have negative 6 times negative 6 plus negative 8 times negative 8 plus 0, 0. So after you got this one, and you have the length from resultant vector, just the dimension value. Okay. Some other question they can ask you very simple, however it look like very complicated. For example, the question they ask you to find the minimum time to finish the job from A to F, that means from start to finish, and they have many ways to go from beginning to the end, and you need to add the day. For example, this one you add 35 days plus 10 days is 45 days from start to finish. The other one you can say like 30 days plus 10 days plus 10 days, 50 days from A to F. You can go another way. For example, number A, you can go like 15 days right here plus 5 days right here plus 10 days plus 10 days for finish. So basically they ask you to figure out which one is the minimum time. That means minimum days they require from start A to finish F. So they have many ways like this, and you need to figure out which one is the short time. Basically the question like that. But with me, if I look at the answer, I can select the small number 40A. So that's why I answer is 40. I don't need to ask everything. Some tricky question. Okay. So now, for example, the question right here, they ask you the bridge, and they ask you, calculate for the minimum size RAM to you is most nearly. So the minimum size by tons, and you look at this. If I look at everything like this, I can say B. Oh, I'm sorry, it's D, because D is the minimum tons. to you for that. So some question they give you very easy, however some question they give you very complicated, and after that the answer is so easy. This is just few examples so you can see that on the exam they give you start from very easy until it's difficult. So try to solve that. Okay. And the other thing is just reference for parking lot, and this one I just share with you for the way how do you solve the problem in parking lot. For example, you have many parking lots in the church look like this, and you figure out how many handicap you need to design for parking lot. Of course, I have the way to explain with you how to do that, but I just let you know that during the final or quiz number 3, we include one example for calculate for parking lot, parking space, and disabled parking. This is some example for them. So finally, I think that's the short chapter, so you don't need to focus a lot in the lecture. And also this one is review question 11 for you to answer. This is review 11. We have one more review. That's everything from the final. The final again it starts from review question number 8 until number 12. So before that, from number 7, let me see, from number 1 to number 7 belong to quiz number 3. Number 8 to number 12 belong to final. So if you see some review question, it starts from number 8 and up to number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12. So you should know that it belongs to final. It's not cover for quiz number 3. Okay, so this chapter belong to quiz, belong to final, not for quiz number 3. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you one more review 12, and we're done with the lecture review. Okay, thank you again for watching.